Well, here we go. We're on. And I just have a few things I have to say about jazz. Yeah, jazz. Jazz. Just the word jazz. The word jazz is cool. It just has that thing about it, funk, jazz, rock. When you say rock, it's like rock. Classical sounds, jazz. It's very cool. Now, a lot of people listen to jazz because they don't understand what's going on technically, but they just like the mood of it, the feel, that kind of thing, and that's nothing wrong with that. And there's many people out there who aspire to be jazz musicians. These guys are a little distracting me with their jazz. It's very busy jazz, a lot of different kinds of jazz. I don't claim to be an expert at all, but I may know a little more than the average person. I play guitar, but I wasn't brought up on jazz. I just dabble with it. But I notice, my comments on jazz are one, you gotta be pretty on the ball. You can't be a stupid person and play jazz, good jazz. I wouldn't say it is mathematically based in some forms. There's a lot of types of scales that you have to know, and how one chord leads to the next, and chords you can put in place of other chords that sound cooler because they're jazz chords, right? Instead of just your basic rock chords. And what was my point? Basically, you got to know stuff. You got to know all this stuff. You got to learn it and figure it out. Or there are the geniuses out there who never had a lesson in their life, and they're just natural killer jazz players. But as a rule, they all, I think a lot of the great ones, aspired to learn from others who they felt were great. And it's kind of passed on, and it sort of becomes, different forms of jazz. You've got your old style traditional jazz trios, and piano and bass and drums and guitar and maybe sax a lot. I have an issue with too much sax. I don't know why. I just find it, okay, have a little jazz, have a little sax solo, and then let's get back to the piano or the guitar and stuff like that. There's big band jazz, which is, definitely lots of horns. And that's okay, because it kicks butt a little more. It can really rock in its own way. And it's very punchy, and that huge horn section, stuff like that, Glenn Miller and all those guys, that was a different kind, big band jazz. Anyways, I tend to like the intimate, warm jazz. Not too much sax, as I said, but guitar. And see, listen to this here. This is Larry Carlton and Lee Ritenour, I think. And Larry Carlton's a big fave of mine, I gotta say. He leans into rock, but he can kick butt with jazz too, But some of these guys leave me a little cold. I don't know why. Probably Lee Ritenour, I don't know, Pat Metheny and these guys, they're another new generation. They're not the newest, they're sort of mid-generation now. Fusion, jazz players, whatever. And I don't know, I get the feeling that a lot of times they're just doing licks, and I mean, they know what they're doing. But there's something about the earlier jazz greats who the feeling that's put across, as well as what they play, and it can be fast, it can be simple, doesn't matter. It's not how much you know. See, that's the thing. With jazz, you can know a lot, you can be a smart guy, but if you don't have the heart and the feel and the tastefulness when you choose your notes, if you're just going through the last bunch of scales you've been practicing to try them out, that ain't it. That ain't it at all. So you guys start looking to hear, you know, even if you have to slow down and use the scales that you're really comfortable with and make something out of them. Make a good melody, make tasteful playing. Don't just shred. I think that's one of the words I've seen a lot lately, shredders, super fast players, and you know, that's okay for 3 or 4 minutes, and then you go, okay, I'm impressed already. Music, any kind of music, but jazz should not be done to impress people. You're not out there to prove something. You're out there, in my opinion, to exude music from yourself. I don't know how to, you know, it should just, you should know your chords and scales so well that you just, it's like speaking. It's like speaking, or, you know, just singing a cappella. Now, if I could play what I could sing a cappella, I'd be pretty good. I'm not claiming to be a great a cappella singer, but even that, you know, if, in other words, it wants to go right from your head to your fingers through your heart. Oh, how deep. And the brain itself should just be resting and allowing you to flow. And you just, you know, it's like I said, speaking or anything you're fluid with. You've got to be fluid and not thinking too much. A lot of my videos are like that. Well, all of them. I don't know what I'm going to say beforehand. So this is word jazz. Ooh, new category. I've heard it before, actually. I've heard of word jazz. It's like jamming with words. Interesting. First word that came to mind for me was catapult. I don't know if that's word jazz or not, but that's the first word that came to my mind. But I think I'm just jamming right here. I'm riffing on my thoughts. What do you like? You like my riffs? What do you think of that riff? There's another word, eh? Riffs. See, a riff right away is implied that it's been done before, in a sense. Because there are a lot of riffs, especially rock music has a lot of riffs. Lines that you repeat, you know. Dun 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 dun. There's lots of songs written around riffs. So if a jazz player is playing riffs, to me that implies that, okay, he's doing that, you know, maybe done it before, someone else has done it. But it doesn't really always mean that. It's just a series of notes. But it's always meant to me something repeated. Okay, so a riff like bada yada bada yada bada yada bada yada bada yada bada yada bop. So there's your little riff, and then you throw a little bop at the end. So as you go through your flow, you might pull out a few riffs that you like, and that's okay here and there. Do not rely on all the riffs you've learned and just make a whole performance, a bunch of riffs and tricks and clever bits, you know. Clever shouldn't enter into it. It just should, if it's going to be clever, it should just not be thought out as clever, but and performed. Hey, I got this clever bit I'm going to do with my finger picking style. I can do this blah, blah, blah thing, you know. No. Wrong. I don't claim to be a great jazz musician. Obviously not a good word jazzer either, but I think I know what feels right, sounds right, and is moving. I highly recommend, look at Django Reinhardt, Stefan Grappelli, those guys, it was from the heart, there's no doubt about it. There were some fast riffs, whoops, but, you know, lines and things that they did that were just amazing. But boy, what a feeling they had, you know, they were coming from the heart, no doubt about it. Nat King Cole. I take issue with, is it Oscar Peterson? Yeah. He seems very riffy and sort of, I know he doesn't think about what he's playing. He's so damn good though, but he kind of overplays to me. I don't know how to sum this up really, other than jazz is cool if you are cool when you play it and not too intense and methodical about it. So for all the wannabe jazzers out there, that's my advice, and I'll try to follow that too. Thank you.